Good morning. At 9,000 feet high in heaven on earth, Cloudcroft, New Mexico, the Lincoln National Forest, Sacramento Mountains. Taking Buddy for a walk. We've had tons of rain. And get a load of this, tracks. I'm going to guess this is elk, maybe deer. They look pretty big, huh? Elk tracks in the mud. My best guess. Come on, buddy. Yeah, see that? Boy, you can see how the rain is really... We had lots of rain yesterday, tons and tons. No flash flooding where I am, but that doesn't mean there isn't. Gosh, this poor cabin. As I recall, the daughter who's in charge of this cabin, she's a nurse. God bless the nurses. The nurses have had such a hellish time in the hospitals. I mean, she's not, I hope she hasn't gotten sick or anything, but she certainly doesn't have time to be tending to this. And this, with what's been happening since March of 2020, she's no doubt exhausted, and they live somewhere in Texas, and there's no time to come up here and tend to things. Ah, there goes somebody in a Jeep. See, when you live rural, you pay attention to any vehicle that goes by. I don't recognize that Jeep, but considering where it came from, I think that's the new neighbor. We have a new neighbor who's come from California. Bought a cabin that went on sale, and he's going to live here full time. A California escapee. Getting out of all that horror. Ah, beautiful. 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 No electricity this morning when I woke up. I called Otero County Electric Co-op. They explained on their automated system that at 6:49 a.m., the electric out was for all of the mountain. The electricity came on again for about 10 minutes at 8 o'clock, roughly. And then it just went off again at 8:10. I gave them a call to their automated system at 9 o'clock when it hadn't come back on to let them know it's still out. Their automated system, though, I think knows, because they said that they know the electricity is out in this area. It's pretty much all over the mountain. We're coming this way. This isn't the normal way we do our walk, but down that way are some neighbors who must have someone visiting, because I hear a squeak toy. That's what it sounds like. Sounds like there's a squeak toy down there. It's a little dog barking. Boy, that little dog has good ears. Started barking as soon as we came out the door and headed down to the road. Like a squeak toy. I can tell it's going to be a warm day here. And I don't know that we're going to get much rain today. Or we'll get it this afternoon. If we get it. It's humid. Quite humid. It's in the 60s. So it feels warm. I like this garage. The people who have this place now, the cabin, are real nice people. I like them. I miss the Pattersons, though. Brother and Mrs. Patterson. This was the first cabin built up on this side. He built it himself, and they called it Polly and Pat's Peak. Dr. and Mrs. Patterson, PhD doctor in theology, no doubt. He was a Baptist minister and the director of the Baptist Spanish Publishing House in El Paso. They've passed on. But boy, I can remember 30 years ago, my husband and I'd walk by here, and usually we'd see Mr. and Mrs. Patterson out sitting on their deck looking out over this gorgeous view. They were in their 80s at the time. Real nice people. And to my surprise, of course, we made our introductions. And when I introduced myself, I do not have the same surname as my great-grandfather. But he looked at me and he said, he would have to be your grandfather or your great-grandfather, Leighton Maddox. And I said, yes, that's right. How did you know that? He didn't tell me how he knew, but he started talking about how he admired my great-grandfather so much, who was a Baptist minister. And I was amazed. How in the heck he put all that together? Anyway, they'd sit on that deck. When you live up here, you have to be prepared to die up here. I mean that, seriously. I'm not trying to scare anyone. It's just the truth. And Brother Patterson, he had a heart attack up here one winter. They were snowed in, couldn't get out. They did have a telephone. And they called their doctor in El Paso to get advice over the phone. Both of them told me all about it. And it was only after that that they decided to spend winters down in Texas and then spend the rest of the year up here at their place. Look at this view. Gorgeous view. Buddy, don't yank on me. Gorgeous view. Oh, there goes a white truck. It is so quiet around here that you hear, at least I can hear, anyone who drives by for at least half a mile or so. Just beautiful. I hear a noise down there. That could be someone with a generator on. I hear some sort of mechanical noise off in the distance. Boy, that's a mechanical noise you hear in El Paso or any city. You would hear that all the time, but not out here. That's either a generator or maybe they're working on the electric lines. Who knows where what's caused this electricity to go out. No idea. See, look at that gorgeous view. Just beautiful. Beautiful view. That's the cabin the Californian bought. California fellow. He told me he's getting out of California. It's a shame. California used to be terrific. You know, if you're interested in history, I love this book, Women's Diaries of the Westward Journey. It's one of my favorite books. I bought it right after it came out, right after it was published, which was quite a while ago. Well worth reading. Women's Diaries of the Westward Journey. Come on, buddy, this way. And it's when people were going by covered wagon across the West to get to Oregon and California in the 1840s through the 1860s, roughly. Fascinating to read those diaries. I love that book. Highly, highly recommend it. Boy, you can tell how the water just rushed down here. At any rate, this electrical outage is the longest electrical outage I've had in a long time. Used to be, in the old days, you'd lose electricity. You could count on losing electricity up here for at least 3 times, 4 times every summer. Electricity would go out. And in winter, well, you have to be prepared for that too. But they've made huge improvements on the electrical grid up here to where I've been very impressed for the last 10 years or so. Losing electricity has been pretty rare in this area. They've made tons of improvements over that. So this lengthy of a outage interests me. Called in a dead tree, standing dead tree that I saw up here that's threatening the electrical lines. I called that in 2 weeks ago and no one has come to cut it down yet. It's on the road. And the electric company does have the right-of-way several feet off the road and along the road in all directions to cut trees down that are threatening their power lines. Very important to do that because trees falling on power lines can knock out electricity and can start forest fires. So whenever I see a tree that is standing dead and there's an electric line right there, in this case the electric line is about 10 feet from the tree and the tree is leaning toward it, I call it in. So I'm going to guess maybe a tree fell on an electric line somewhere up here. Could have been more than one tree. We had lots of rain here. Oh, look, somebody's dirty. Looks like deer dirty to me. Looks a little bit too small for elk, unless it's the baby elk. We do have mamas with babies up here. Maybe that's baby elk dirty. Hold on, buddy. I'm trying to scratch my nose. Come here. Yeah. Hold on. Gosh, it's beautiful up here. Cloudcroft has more, is the village. This mountain top, Sacramento Mountains, we get the most rain of any place in New Mexico. Nowhere else in New Mexico gets as much rain as we do. And we're also at 9,000 feet, so we stay pretty cool. I mean, when everybody was boiling down in the desert with massive, horrible heat, here where we are, the high at my cabin would get, the hottest it got was 80. The higher up you are, at least in this country, in the United States, the cleaner the air. The cooler the temperature, the less danger from a lot of things. Though, of course, in a forest, any forest, you do have the possibility of wildfires. That's why I'm always sounding like a nag talking about that. But of all the places you can go in New Mexico, this is a great area. And you know, I saw on TV the other day that apparently, I didn't know this, apparently the Pacific Northwest was in the hundreds. My word. And they were in the hundreds. Our high was 80. Boy. And apparently all these wildfires out there, spreading smoke all over the country. Well, not here. It's been really nice. Well, I'm gonna say bye-bye from Cloudcroft, New Mexico. 9,000 feet high in the sky and heaven on earth. Bye-bye.